listeners, Perla here. As always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So this is going to be the Zodiac weekly readings. Whew. Let's jump right on in. Aries. Mm. Aries, somebody's having a crash out here. It is very unclear whether it is you or somebody that is very close to you, but somebody is having a crash out, and it is an openly, um, it's like it's being openly done. So like when a child has like a tantrum or something like that, like that's what I'm picking up. Um, this is somebody, like as I'm tapping into the energy more. I'm like, wait, because like this seems like somebody's having a crash out over a path or a decision that you took, Aries, that had nothing to do with them. So somebody feels like you're leaving them behind within the decision that you took. Now, a quick reminder, guys, these are general readings, so apply it however it is in your life. This could be romance, this could be career wise, like somebody that you work with. Maybe there was somebody that thought that they were going to be part of your team in some way or shape or form, and all of a sudden they're realizing like they're not, somebody's realizing they're not going with you is what I'm picking up. So they're not going with you to the next level. Now, regardless of whatever type of relationship that is, somebody's having a crash out that is being seen by many. So somebody's either going to try to call you out in front of a group of people or like through social media or something of that matter, but somebody's having a crash out because they're not coming with you on your next level. Somebody feels entitled to something that you are receiving or something that you are achieving. um I don't know, because I'm picking up here like there is a sense here of like somebody wanting to be recognized. um Somebody wanting to be recognized, someone wanting to be somebody wanting the recognition that they feel that they are entitled to. So now I'm just giving you an example, right? um let's say you have an ex, right? And you guys have kids or whatever, and the ex took 90% of the responsibility to the child, right? And in order for you to finish school, in order for you to progress with your studies, and now you're sitting here and you're saying like, oh, I did this all on my own and this and this and that, when in reality, yeah, you study on your own, you put in those hours, but it was, you also like, that person also deserves the credit and the fact that because they stay with the kids or they pick up the kids or whatever it was, you were able to like put more time into like your studies or something of that matter. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the energy that I'm picking up here. So like they feel that because they helped you, like, take care of the kids or whatever, and you didn't have to find like an alternative like babysitter or whatever it is, that they're entitled to some type of recognition, like publicly, as to what it is that they did, and you don't feel like they deserve any type of recognition. Maybe for some of you, like, somebody just did the bare minimum, like they pay child support but they never picked up the kids, so because they pay the child support, they feel like they're entitled to to recognition to what it is that you have achieved. Like, to be honest with you, this energy very much feels like somebody that put in the bare minimum in something, into a space, and now want to be acknowledged for the bare minimum that they did. So, you know however it is that is showing up in your life, that is the energy that I'm picking up, and you guys are not caving in, you guys are not. And then this person is having a crash out, this person is crashing out, and I know that energy all too well, and it's like, babe, sorry, like, if you would have showed up when it mattered, it would have been a different story, but now it's like, again, somebody wants to be a part of something that they did the bare minimum for, the bare minimum. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card as your closing message. We have the Divine Mother Manifest. Number 15. You're manifesting the hell out of something. You are, and the thing is that people are seeing it, people are recognizing things are going in your favor, and somebody is upset about it because their name is not being mentioned. Ooh, their contribution is not being mentioned. And to be honest with you, when people do things for others, wanting recognition or wanting like this celebration and things like that, then it makes you wonder, are they really doing this from their heart, or are they just doing this so that they can say that they did something for you? And with this person is pretty much this energy of like, whatever it is, the bare minimum that they helped you with was because they wanted to be acknowledged and they wanted to be recognized for the bare minimum that they did for you. Ooh, that is all that I have, babe. Taurus. Oh, Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. You're looking like a delicious snack right now, to be honest with you. Um, whether it is like somebody romantically or, business wise or something like that, you seem like a good investment to someone, is the energy that you're putting out there. There is approach this week about collaboration or working together or getting together. There is an offer here because again, you're looking like a snack. You're looking really good. There's something about your energy this week that is very much attractive in some type of environment. So if you've been looking for a job, or you've been waiting to hear back, or you've been waiting for interviews, this is a week where all of these doors open for you. Um, so all of the quote unquote delays weren't really delays. It was waiting for this week to happen because there's something about your energy this week where it's almost kind of like you've been cracked open and you're allowing your authentic self to really show in a way that it has never shown before. And people are tapping into that space. People are catching that space. Or there's something about that frequency within that space that people really like, and therefore offers are coming in. So for those of you that this is in finance, there are going to be multiple offers coming in when it comes to career. For those of you that this is in love, excuse me, for those of you that this is in love, somebody is approaching you. For those of you that are in a relationship, ooh, excuse me, it keeps coming up like it's like hiccups. Anyways, for those of you that are in a relationship, your significant other wants to move to the next level. Now, whether this is moving in together, getting married, for some of you, this is wanting to add more children to the mix. And some of you, like this whole children thing is kind of catching you off guard. For those of you, even if it's like somebody wants to have more kids with you or wants to have a child with you, wants to move in with you, this is something that you either didn't expect from this person. You were kind of almost, and I'm not trying to be mean here, but some of you were emotionally starting to check out of a relationship because you weren't sure where it was headed, because the person that you're with wasn't 100% clear of where they wanted this relationship to go. And now, as you decide, or as you had decided to start like emotionally checking out of a relationship, now they're making the offer to move a relationship to the next level. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message, Taurus. An oracle card for your closing message. Let love transform. Number 14. So for a lot of you, this is this grounding energy where a lot of you are doing everything for, like, you guys are doing it from a place of love and for love, if that makes sense. For love of the craft, for love of working out, for love of showing up, for love for yourself, for love for your partner, whatever it is. There is this energy of love that is surrounding everything that you're doing during this time, that again is very magnetic and it's attracting everything that you want towards you. So this is again a very good week. Like if there's something that you want to get started, or something that you want to jump on, like something that you've been sitting on that you're like, oh, I don't know if I should go for this, go for it. Because again, there is this magnetic energy towards you this week that whatever it is that you speak out tends to manifest very fast, because you are coming from this transformative love energy. Geminis, hi baby. um there seems to be some type of confusion here, or conflicting energy that is popping up right from the beginning with your reading. um there's something now, for those of you, if this is a legal case, or how do I word it, but it's mainly legal cases that is coming in, whether it's like a custody battle or something else that has to do with like legal issues. There seems to be something that you feel at the moment that is not going your way, but something keeps on getting delayed, or something keeps on getting pushed. And whether you are aware of it or not, this is the issue resolving yourself, or something working in your favor, regardless of how far away like the outcome that you want seems to be. It is actually going to work in your favor. So whatever it is that you're stressing about, or something of that matter, please try your best this week to sit in the knowing that something is working in your favor. Sometimes we have to realize that certain foundations need to break down in order to make room for new. And whatever it is legally that is being resolved for you is for allowing a new foundation to begin. So if this is a custody hearing, if this is like a child support hearing, if this is like a court hearing for anything else, housing, etc., like again, there is a foundation of something that needs to be completely broken down in order to make space, excuse me, for the new. Now what I am seeing here is like when this new opportunity comes in, when you get the outcome that you want within a certain space, um be very aware of how it is that you're moving in that new space. Do not bring in old thought patterns, do not bring in doubt or anything like that into that space. Because remember, we are constantly manifesting, and what it is that you are thinking of today is going to manifest within like the next three to 7 days. Let's put it this way. And this is just like an average, right? Um, it could be something that you're thinking of that you're going to manifest within like the next month or whatever it is. Again, it is a frequency thing, and the more in tune that you're with, the more in tune you're with yourself, the more these manifestations or whatever it is that you're thinking of manifest a lot faster. I like to say 3 to 7 days. Usually when I start thinking about something within like 3 to 7 days, usually 3 days is like boom, here it is, Perla. So I want you to start looking at it this way. So instead of worrying that something is delayed or keeps on getting pushed back, in those moments when you want to start thinking that something is going to be against you or something is not going to work in your favor, sit in the knowing that something has already worked out for you. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card as your closing message, Gemini. The dissolving light. And I really want you to pay attention to this picture. You see how this person is like sitting? Look at it inside. You see it, you see it, you see it, you see it, like with their head down and everything. And it's like, one of the biggest disservices that we can do for ourselves is allow ourselves to fall down that rabbit hole where we think that give me a second, that we think that something is going to work against us, or that we think that there isn't a way out. Because until we don't realize that spirit has our back, until we don't realize that everything is working in our favor, we stay stuck in this energy here where we start to self-doubt, we start to self-destruct, our dialogue towards ourselves becomes very harsh. And I need you not to go into that space, because I am telling you that whatever this legal situation is for you, Gemini, has already worked out in your favor. That delay, look at it as a blessing, because whatever this is going to be a clean cut. And for those of you that are worried about like a record or something like that, it's non-existent is what I'm picking up. Cancer. Oh, Cancer, you're back on the grind. Um, you're back on the grind on something, and you're being invited this week to try to see how you can make small changes so that you don't fall back into the old habits. Now, as I'm saying that, there's something here where when it comes to your work, now, if you're retired or you're not working, this may be like overworking at the gym or something of that matter. But there's something physically that you guys do that you guys tend to like overwork or overdo. And then you guys fall into this pattern of like being injured and non injured and injured and non injured. And I'll use an example of like my ex-husband, and he's not a Cancer, but he had for many years the same injury that kept on happening, and it would happen around the same time every year, and it would last around the same exact time every year, and every year the treatment was always the same. And I used to tell him, until this day I still tell him, like, hey dude, like you really need to get that checked out, or you need to start doing like the spiritual work that is connected to. Now, we live completely different lives. I am a spiritual person, he is a religious person, and we respect each other when it comes to that. But it's almost kind of like, until he doesn't address that spiritual aspect that is connected to that injury is going to keep on reoccurring, right? And it keeps on reoccurring almost at about a year and a half to 2 year mark for him, and then it usually takes him out, and I mean takes him out of work for like a good 6 7 months, right? So I want you to look at that space of what that is for you, right? What that is for you, and what is it that spirit is asking you to do within that space. Is it something that needs to be addressed as simple as like something that you are eating? something that is not vibrationally in alignment with you anymore, right? Or is it something that needs to be healed? Is it something that needs to be addressed, right? Because I don't always want to say, oh, jump into healing, like it's healing, it's healing, it's healing. It's not for everyone, right? So like, let's put it this way: at the stage that I am in my life and where my spiritual path is right now, with everything that I'm doing and learning, there are certain foods that when I eat them vibrationally, physically affect me, and they affect me in a way that my entire body starts to hurt. Like I am sore everywhere, I can't get out of bed, I can't function, right? And it is because it's not in vibrationally aligned with what it is that I'm doing now. And there was a period of time where I kept seeing these cycles, and I'm like, wait, this is happening whenever I eat this, or this is happening whenever I'm doing this. And I'm like, okay, spirit, what is it that is living in this space? Is it something that I have to heal? Is it something that I have to work on? And it's like, no, bitch, like just stop eating this because it's not vibrationally aligned with this, right? And that's kind of like the way that you have to start being curious about the things that continuously are repetitive in your life, whether it is your physical body, whether it is your environment or something. If something is repetitively happening all the time, what is living within that space that needs your attention? And it's not always healing, guys. Sometimes it's just an awareness of something. Something needs some type of awareness. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message, Cancer. Commitment. Ooh, see, number 31. Commitment. Committing to what it is that spirit is showing you. Commitment to your paths, to your spiritual path, is going to require changes that some of you are still not 100% sure that you want to make. And it is okay. There's no judgment here. Just know that until you don't fully commit to your path, until you don't fully commit to something, you're going to continue on seeing these repetitive cycles of whether it is like a physical injury, whether it is a mental stability, or whatever it is, until there's not a full commitment to your path. This is going to continue on happening. Leo, this week is going to be a little bit more emotional than usual for you guys. Give me a second because I don't know if I'm going to sneeze. I gotta just laugh sometimes. Okay. This week seems a little bit more emotional. There is this space where like you may be watching TV, you may be reading a book, or you may just be sitting down looking out the window, and all of a sudden you start to cry. Or all of a sudden you start to laugh, or all of a sudden you get angry for a moment, or whatever it is. What I want you to realize, Leo, is there's nothing that you have to do other than be aware of the emotion and let it pass. Be aware of the sudden emotional, because these are emotional releases that you're having. So nothing that you have to do other than to be aware of them, and other than to like nurture yourself through them. So like if all of a sudden you're crying, don't get upset because you're crying. Don't start wondering where it's coming. Nothing like that. These are little, I keep on seeing like these little pockets of healing that are like, you may have been doing a lot of spiritual like healing work or something like that, and there was like trapped, I'm gonna say it like that so that you guys can like kind of like picture it. There were some trapped emotions in these little pockets of events in your life that are now finally ready to be released, but you don't have to do anything about it. It's like whatever work you did within a space, your mind, your like, so like your spirit, your soul, and your physical body are finally in alignment to let something be released completely. So you can look at this as the end cycles of some type of healing, but it's coming through like throughout the entire week. Again, like if I'm sitting down all of a sudden I get angry, I'm not gonna go ahead and dig to see where is it coming from. I'll be like, oh, I see you, I recognize you, I give you the space to be there. I give you the space to be. And it can last 2 minutes, it can last an hour. But what I tend to do, and again, because I am able to, because of my position, right? Because of what I do, I am able to sit with something for as long as it needs to, right? For some of you, if this is happening while you are at work or whatever it is, you can always speak to the energy and be like, you know what, I really need to function in this space. Can we revisit this when I'm on my drive home or when I get home or anything like that? To be honest with you, I do feel that this is mainly happening when you are by yourself. I am a great believer and a huge believer in the fact that our physical body, our nervous systems, our spiritual self knows exactly when it is to release something. And I don't think that it's being done in a space where, like, if it is happening like while you are at work or while you're engaging in something else, it is most likely happening because the first time that it wanted to happen, you kind of repressed it or you tried to suppress it away. So I'm inviting you that if you're home by yourself and all of a sudden, again, you start crying or you start laughing, be aware of it, give the space for it, and allow your body, your physical body, your nervous system to process it so that it doesn't continue on being trapped. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card We have the commitment card. Cancer just had this. So during this week, be committed to these trap energies that are being released. Be committed to being present during this time and allowing yourself to finally close certain cycles in your life, especially those of the things that you have been healing or that you have been working on for the past year. Okay, Leos, that is all that I have for you guys. Virgos. Virgo, what do we have for Virgo? Um, Busy. You're very busy this week, Virgo. There's a couple of things that I want to touch on here with you, Virgos. I need you to be a little bit more aware of what it is that you're eating and your physical activities is what I'm picking up. You're needing to, like, you're either needing to move more, you're needing to like take, a couple of walks or something like that. There's something about like your physical body that you need to pay a little bit more attention. For some of you, if you have been working a lot of hours or late hours, you're not being very disciplined when it comes to what it is that you're putting in your body, or staying up, like staying on track with like your workouts, right? And even doing like a little bit is better than not doing anything. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you continue down this path where you're like ignoring your workouts or ignoring the discipline that you normally have with like your diet, and what I mean by that is like your lifestyle when it comes to food, you're going to start feeling it physically within like the next 2 weeks, and you're not going to be too very happy about it. So let's prevent anything in that space. Like, when you start to feel like sluggish and you start feeling like not like yourself and this and that, let's get ahead of that. Make sure that you're staying hydrated, because again, you guys get into these immaculate routines when it comes to your health and your physical body, but then it's like you have 1 week of like working late or whatever, and it's like, oh, if I can't be at the gym for an hour, I'm not going to go. My love, if you can only do 20 minutes at the gym, or you can only do 30 minutes, go ahead and do that 20-30 minutes. Like, do not allow yourself to fall off of your like the routine that you have for your physical body, because it is as important as the routines that you have for your spiritual body. They are connected, is what I'm trying to tell you. They are connected. Okay. Exercising is a great way to release energy, to get energy moving, especially like stagnant energy and things like that. It is a very especially like if you are working or doing some type of spiritual work, movement in itself is very much needed in combination with what it is that you are eating. So please pay attention to the things that you are eating this week. And for so those of you that maybe this is a sensation that you're starting to have, or your like spirit is trying to tell you like, hey, can we get into like a workout routine? When can we get into like a healthier eating habit? Now again, and I always say these are just tools. You can work out 3 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever it is. Meditation, breath work, I consider that a workout in and of itself, right? So see what it is, see how it is the spirit wants you specifically to integrate like physical movement into your day-to-day life, and also what it is that you're eating, Virgo. All right, so give me an oracle card for Virgo, spirit. An oracle card for Virgo. Beyond death, life. Ooh, number one. There are certain patterns here, certain things here that need to die off, in order to give life to a new way. And again, I keep on hearing this, like your physical body, Virgo, your physical body, like when you're locked in with your workouts, with your eating habits, you're on point, you're on everything. But the minute that something comes in that is not part of your routine, that is not part of whatever it is, and you fall off, it takes you a very long time to kind of get back on track. So let's be a little bit more flexible in regards to that, right? So, like, let's put it this way. And this is just an example, right? I usually work out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have specific body parts that I work out on each day. Fridays is usually a treadmill walk, right? That I usually do like incline or whatever. Saturdays and Sundays is all spiritual work that I do. And when I go away, right? So I'm going away next weekend. Yeah, for the weekend of Valentine's, I'm going to be away. So that means that Friday's workout is going to look a lot different because I won't be near a treadmill. I'm going to be at a spiritual temple. So that means that I'm going to have to get in my steps in a different way. But that doesn't mean that I don't show up for myself because I won't be home. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that Friday, my body's going to need a little bit more stretching, a little bit of yoga or something that I can do in the space that I'm going to be in, right? So flexibility with your routine is definitely needed, Virgos. Libras. All righty, Libra, let's see. You're having a little hard time with staying positive or staying in a positive mindset this week. So what I want you to do, and this is a very simple practice that anybody can do, whenever something comes up, like if you say, oh, I'm broke, right? I want you to write it down, and then I want you to cross it off, and then I want you to rewrite that sentence. Say I am financially abundant, or I I have the financial means to meet my expenses, whatever it is. And the reason why I say whatever it is because you're gonna have to play around with words that your nervous system responds to and doesn't react to, right? So if I were to say I'm broken and I cross it off and then I put I'm a millionaire, right away my nervous system's gonna be like, bitch, you know you ain't no millionaire, and it's gonna respond, it's gonna react to it and like, nah, we're not accepting that. But instead, if I say I'm broke, I cross it off, right? And then underneath it I write I am financially stable. My nervous system responds to that. I am ugly. I cross that off. I am beautiful. My nervous system responds to it, right? So that's kind of like the way that I want you to look at it. Again, these are just tools for you guys to use, but I want you to personalize it. And I want you to realize that whenever you're using a tool, your nervous system is going to let you know whether it is responding or reacting to it. If it is reacting to it, it is something that is not in alignment with you. It is something that your spirit does not respond to, or your spirit does not want to work with, right? When it responds to it, it's like it just clicks, and your spirit, your nervous system, everything just accepts it as it is, right? So if you're having that hard time, like that negative self-talk, because again, I don't feel that you're speaking it out to other people or anything, like this isn't it like an internal dialogue that you're still having a little hard time with. And if it is difficult, let's put it this way, to kind of get back on track by just being like, nope, not today, right? Because there's certain things that would come up for me and I'm like, oh no, baby, we're not doing that. Bye-bye. Right. And but it wasn't something that happened overnight. I had to train myself. I had to train my nervous system. I had to train my mind in how to deal with these energies when they came in. And for some of you, something as simple as writing it as it comes in, crossing it completely off, and then rewriting the statement in a way that your nervous system accepts it, right? And if maybe you have to do it like freaking 5 times throughout the day, hey, do it 5 times. Maybe you have to repeat it to yourself every hour of like on the hour for an entire day. But again, we're talking here about changes that need to be done. So when you're so heavily programmed on something, is sometimes, and I say sometimes because there's certain things that you can reprogram once and your nervous system accepts right away. And then there are other things that, depending what they're connected to, as far as your childhood, may take a little longer for your nervous system to accept. Hope that makes sense. And remember, we're all here on different paths. For some people, they can switch things up once and it works for them, but that is what their spirit is in alignment with. That is part of the contract that they sign. For other people, is like maybe repetition is part of your blueprint, part of your program, in order to help people that are in that same frequency. I hope that that makes sense. Nothing is linear, and not something that works for one person is going to work for everyone. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card. Why are we doing two, my love? So we have the Star Mother, and there's another card here that is really attached to it. Like, okay, babe, I see you. And then we have the Hand of Fatima. So these are your two cards. So this was your first card. Hold on, guys. This was your first card, and then this is your second card. Like, just know that even though, again, something may seem a little overwhelming, something may seem like you're not getting ahead, it may seem like you're drowning within a certain space or something like that, just know that you are being guided to release these thought patterns. If they feel very intense, it is because you're ready to face them, you're ready to change that dialogue within, so that you can start seeing the changes, the manifestation of the changes within your life. All right, Libra? So do the work, however that is, whether it is that you want to turn on a candle before you go to bed, you want to do a prayer from the Bible, you want to write up a spell, whatever it is that your spirit is calling you for, it is time to address these energies of self-doubt or self-sabotaging dialogue that you have. Scorpios, not gonna lie, this looks a little chaotic this week. Needing to ground yourself this week, there's going to be some type of interaction this week, and that is going to test your patience, is what I'm picking up. Now, whether this is with a significant other or with like a loved one, like a family member or something of that matter, there's something that is testing your patience, but it's also making you self-reflect on certain choices that you've made. There is some type of truth that is being spilled here, Some of you are receiving the truth, some of you are saying the truth, but regardless of anything, it does put you into a self-reflecting type of energy. There's some here, some of like noticing or realizing someone's true colors or true intentions in some type of interaction, right? So like just as an example, like you may have a friend that you may have been picking up like, oh, this person is a little, seems a little controlling, like for a friend, right? Or seems this and this and that, and you decide to bring this friend around like a group of friends, and they start to act very jealous, they start to act very possessive, their whole demeanor, their whole attitude changes when they see you interacting with other people. Now if this is like somebody that you're dating, maybe they're seeing you around your family, around your kids, or whatever it is, and they're acting like, there is this sense of like jealousy here that is unreasoned. There is no reason for this jealousy to exist. There is no reason for this jealousy to be, but regardless of it, it is there, and you're finally seeing that side of this person, is what I'm picking up. So there is a lot of turmoil within this space, because again, this is maybe a friend or a significant other that you have really like learned to care for, but you're also seeing this side of them, or this possessive energy that you're not 100% sure that you want to deal with. Alrighty, so just be aware of that energy, Scorpios. um I would invite you to get yourself grounded before having any type of like collective gathering, is what I'm trying to pick up. Or not like gathering, or like getting together with people, like in a dynamic of getting together with a group of people. You're seeing the truth of someone, you're seeing someone's true colors, maybe for the first time, excuse me, or maybe this is a confirmation that you needed, that what you were suspecting is true. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out. I wonder what's going on, because um two of my kids are Scorpio, so now I'm gonna have to go ask them. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card. Don't be upset. Don't be embarrassed. Do not be upset with me. I'm just a messenger here, my love. Enter the garden of delights. Enter the garden of delights. When we finally accept something for what it truly is, when we finally accept something for its true nature, are we allowed to enter the space of knowing, to enter the space of making informed decision, is what I keep on picking up. When we think about delights, we think about things that bring us joy, things that make us feel fuzzy and warm and loved and this and that. And there's something here about like when the truth is met, when the truth is accepted, can you really begin to enjoy that space, or can you really begin to enjoy life as it is? And for a lot of you, is like needing to walk away. And I feel like this has been a repetitive type of reading for you guys, like about needing to walk away from someone. And it's like until you don't walk away from this person, you're not going to enter that space of the garden of delight. The Sagittarius, what do we have here? um Someone is trying to come in and share some type of information. Somebody feels that you are entitled to knowing some type of truth. Now, you're not wanting to take any part of it, is what I'm picking up. You're not wanting somebody to tell you the truth and something. You're not wanting somebody to confide in you in regards to this truth. There is a sense here that you guys are picking up on some type of some type of like combative energy that comes with knowing the truth in something. Now, whether it is that if you know the truth within a situation, you're going to be wanting to confront somebody, or you're going to go ahead and confront somebody, and you're just like, I don't even want to be tempted. For others of you, it's just like you have either walked away from situations, from people, and you can really care less what it is, the truth behind something. Like when it mattered to know the truth in regards to this person, in regards to the situation, the truth didn't come to light. And now that you walked away from it, you really don't care, because you are not looking to revisit it. You're not looking to re-engage with this energy. So when somebody's coming towards you, you're just like, oh, no thanks. It's like, let's say you're talking to a friend and they're like, oh, your ex, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna stop you right there. No thanks. That's part of the past, my love. But let's talk about something else. Or your ex boss, or your ex that, not, no, anything that is an ex belongs where? In the past. All right, babe. So let's move on from this conversation. It's kind of like that attitude that you're having with somebody, because you're just like, you know what? I'm not even like, they could be saying that I was the devil reincarnated if they want to. I do not care. Let them tell their stories. I am okay with being the villain in their life. That's the way that you're looking at it. You're like, no, babe, I'm good. Oh, I would no. I don't want to know what they're saying. I don't want to know what they're doing. I don't care what they think. Leave it there. And because again, there is a part of you that knows that if you hear the entire story or you hear what somebody's saying about you, you're going to want to confront it. And there is this split between you where you're just like, you know what? I don't even want to. Like, I don't even want to know because I don't even want to go into that space. It's like if they are saying all of these things about me, and people are believing it, then them and those people do not belong in my life, and I'm perfectly fine without it. I'm perfectly fine without it. That's the way that you're looking at it. You're learning to have discernment as to what it is that you should be engaging and what you shouldn't be engaging with, what it is that you should be using your throat chakra for and what you shouldn't. We have the Auza star of Venus, number 26. And what I really like about this card and the way that, that is calling out to me is this energy of like somebody being so self-assured of themselves and being so immersed within their own energy, within their own frequency, that they are like, she is very unbothered in this picture about what it is. You see, like how if you look at it, it's almost like she's in like her own little bubble of energy. She's in her own little world, and it's like, you know what everybody wants to say about me, what everybody wants to think about me, it is irrelevant. And especially when it comes to those of your past, you're just like, you know what, babe, I'm not having it. Mm. Capricorns. Okay, Capricorns, what do we have here? Mm, you I'm sorry, I was gonna laugh for like a minute. All right, let's clear that. The Capricorns, you seem very busy this week, but you also seem very attractive is what I'm picking up. So there is this huge thing of like somebody new romantically. For those of you that are single, there is somebody approaching you, somebody new approaching you, somebody new either making a compliment or making it known that they find you attractive. Now what I like about this energy, and the reason why I was laughing, is because there is somebody also from your past that is trying to figure out whether it is that you have moved on or not. And it's like they're not asking you directly, they're like creeping your social media, or they're asking people around you like, hey, can you find out if Cappy has somebody new? Can you find out if Cappy's dating? Can you find out if Cappy's that? And the thing is, like, whether you are dating or whether you're meeting somebody new, you're not telling anybody. Keep them guessing, baby. And I know, like, I'm laughing and everything, but your main focus this week, Capricorn, again, it's on building your empire, building whatever it is that you have been working on. And because you're so focused on what it is that you're creating, and you're so focused on getting ahead, let's put it this way, career wise. And what one of the things that is mainly coming in is like you are in love with what it is that you're doing. So you are in love with your career, you are in love with your job or whatever. And because you are emitting this love frequency, this love energy, the things that you want, even though you don't speak about them so often or so frequently, are gravitating towards you. So for those of you that have been single for a very long time, and I want to say, like, anywhere between like 3 to 5 years is the energy that I'm picking up, there is love that is being attractive to you. There's somebody that is being pulled into like they're being pulled towards your frequency is what I'm picking up. And I know that that may not make any sense or anything like that, but it's almost kind of like, you know how like we come into alignment with certain frequency, is like you're pulling this person into your own like personal frequency. Capricorn is like, no, I'm tired of being in alignment with other frequencies, I'm creating my own. And it's like you're creating your own love frequency, and this person is gravitating towards you. But at the same time, simultaneously, there is an X here that is probably like energetically picking up on an energy that somebody is approaching you, or that you're going to be in a committed relationship very soon. And even though they do not understand why, they're curious about what's happening in your love life in that way, because it feels like it comes in very sudden for them. Maybe they're starting to feel like they have truly lost you, or they're feeling like the time frame of coming back towards you is closing, that window is closing. That's really interesting, Capricorn. And again, you're so freaking oblivious over here, just focusing on your goals and your things, that I feel like somebody is flirting with you, and they're gonna like stop and look at you and be like, Capricorn, and you're like, yeah, and I'll be like, you do know that I'm flirting with you, right? And you're just like, oh, and then you start like either laughing nervously, or like you get really like flushed, like red face and everything, and you're just like, oh shoot, I've really been out of the game this long. I think that's why I keep laughing, because it's like you're like just unaware that somebody is like flirting with you this week. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message, Capricorns. Just one card, Spirit. Just one card. One of my pinky ring wants to fly off. I can feel it. See, like, look, it's coming up. This one. All right. All right, Capricorn's closing message. Whirling goddess. Whirling goddess. And I mean, it makes sense, because you're making your own love frequency. You're just like, nah, I'm not in alignment with those love frequencies. I'm making my own. And again, you're in the midst of creating this type of lifestyle, this type. And again, it is not all about like finances. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is a legacy that you're trying to create. You're trying to create something that is going to outlast you. The name is like, your name is going to outlast like time and everything. It's like, that's kind of like what I'm picking up here. Whatever it is that you're working on, it is a legacy that you're working on, and you're super focused on what it is that you're doing, that you're not even realizing that somebody's flirting with you. And it's just like you're pulling in everything that you want into this frequency of you. Like you're everything that you want is coming into that alignment with your frequency. It's weird the way that it is, because usually when I'm doing readings and frequency is coming in, it's like we are getting into alignment with that frequency. But it's like, I don't know, something about your creative energy, your creative blueprint, or whatever it is, that you're pulling all of these frequencies towards your way. I don't know. That's the way that it came out, Capricorn. Aquarius, you're this week is very much about this week is mainly what I'm picking up. It's about planning, is what is like, whether you're planning a trip, maybe you're planning your workout schedule, you're planning. There's something here about planning. There's something about here about making a realistic plan or a realistic list of how to achieve some type of goal. Now, whether this is your, like, if you're trying to get in shape, it's like, okay, you're going to have to be diligent about what it is that you're putting into your body, what it is that you're working out. If this is your spiritual practice, like making a plan, like, okay, like I'm going to start meditating more, I'm going to start dancing more, I'm going to start reading these books. Like there's something about this energy, like where it feels like your energy seems to be scattered in way too many places, and planning and organizing is needed, organization is needed this week in pretty much all areas of your life. Now, I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people may like, oh, this doesn't work for everybody. But waking up between like 4:30 and 5 in the morning is what something that I years ago, even when I was still working as a nurse, was something that I found very beneficial to get my day started. There's something about the serenity of everybody in the household sleeping. There's something about the most of the world sleeping, having this more like tuned down type of energy to wake up in, that really allows me to get really grounded within myself and get everything that I want to do for myself done and out of the way before my day begins. So like, whether that's like, reading out of a book for like 15, 20 minutes, having my morning coffee or my morning tea, having a quick workout, having that meditative state, like that meditative moment and everything for myself, really is something that, again, you may think it sounds crazy or something like that, but if you're really being asked to be more organized, maybe carving out some morning time, doesn't have to be 5, but I honestly, like, there's something about that, there's something magical about like that between 4:30 5:30 a.m, mainly 4:30 and 5 a.m, like waking up at that time. Give it a try. Like the first 2 or 3 days may be a little rough waking up, because you have to adjust your sleeping time, but there's something in that energetic field that you may actually begin to love when it comes to getting organized. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and let's see what we have for your oracle message. That's way too many cards. Getting organized and planning things is what is needed in order to, before taking action. Do not go blindly taking action into something without being organized or without having a plan. All right, so let's go ahead and let's pull out one oracle. Right, this one flew out. We have the dissolving light. So an old way of doing things, an old way of thinking, an old way of operating is dissolving in order to allow you to really emerge from a place of self. You may have been living your life, whether it is like the workouts, whether it is the time that you wake up or whatever it is, by someone else's programming, by someone else's schedule. Now, and again, everyone's life is different or anything and everything like that, but just know that not everybody is meant to sleep 8 hours. Not everybody is meant to wake up at 6 in the morning. Not everybody is meant to go to sleep at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. We all have our own internal clock, our own internal rhythm. And for some of you, the minute that you tap into that internal rhythm clock of yourself, everything in your life starts to change, because then you're planning from that internal natural rhythm of yourself, and you start to live your life from that place versus what has been told to you. Pisces, Pisces. You are. I keep on seeing this thing of like you putting up your hand and you're like, not today, not today, not today. You're not wanting to deal with any drama or any he said she said type of energy. You're blocking any type of interaction of somebody that wants to come and vent to you or wants to come and tell you their problems or wants to try to get you in other people's problem. You're saying not today. There is a refocusing here of grounding practices is what I keep on picking up. Something about grounding practices. Some of you, I keep on hearing you're an oracle, you're an oracle, you're an oracle, you're finally waking up to your own gifts. Um, you're waking up to your own spiritual gifts. And there's something about an oracle here. That space of an oracle is what I keep on picking up. Um, and there is this energy that, ooh, hold on guys. There's something here about when you don't stay true to yourself, or when you don't stay on track with your spiritual practices, now whatever that is, things seem to feel overwhelming, or things seems to be getting off track for you. There's something here about like I'm looking at the like the spiritual meaning of an oracle, and it's a conduit for the divine wisdom, serving as a bridge between human and spiritual realm, and that's really what's catching my attention. The bridge between the human and the spiritual realms. When you ignore one part of your aspect, whether it is the practical things that you're supposed to be doing physically and your spiritual practices, it almost feels like that bridge starts to collapse, and then it starts to manifest in your physical realm, like through the way that you're feeling. Like those, for those of you Pisces that are listening to me and this is sitting with you, those bursts or those episodes of depression that you get into has a lot to do with you not tapping in, or not diving into your spiritual self, or allowing your spiritual self to emerge, whether it is from lack of knowing what is there or not knowing where to begin and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I always tell people, when you are not sure where to begin with your spiritual practice, one of the things that is very simple, and whether you want to call it prayer, whether you want to call it meditation, or whatever it is sitting with yourself and releasing all expectations of what you think is supposed to come through, and just focusing on your breath. Getting lost in the space of your breath, like whether it is counting your breath in, your breath out, etc. You kind of like create this bridge where your conscious self is so focused on like, okay, I'm going to count 10 seconds in as I'm breathing in, I'm going to hold it for 10 seconds, I'm going to breathe out for 10 seconds, and your conscious self is focused on that. And then it allows your subconscious mind to start coming through. It allows spirit to start connecting and channeling straight through to your subconscious mind, and you start to either see or hear things or whatever it is. Now, for everybody is going to be different. Maybe as you're meditating, nothing is coming up, and it's not going to happen until, let's say, like you go to sleep or you have a dream, or where you're sitting down for like 5 minutes having a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden you have an epiphany. So kind of like look at it at that, as that way. I am very cautious when it comes to telling people, well, do this, do that, go find out from this person, that person, because each of our spirit, we are all each here for a different purpose, and is going to evolve in different ways. So anything that you can do to help the connection of yourself, learning to connect to your own intuition and learning to get grounded within that space, is always the first advice that I would give people. Now, if you are interested, we do have that playlist of the what is it called, the energy transmutation, that sometimes helps people get a little bit more grounded before they go into a meditative state. That playlist is on YouTube. Blessing of Sorrow, number 39. So again, there's something here about the blessings and the gifts that you have received, the gifts that are part of you, and that are awakened and are waiting to be utilized. Now, what do I mean by that? When I decide, because and if you've been following me for a while, you know that I be disappearing sometimes, right? So when I decide to disappear sometimes, it is one of the biggest disservices that I can do to myself and that I can do to the collective. Because what tends to happen is, well, it depends. Like the last few times that I disappear, I was doing actually other work. But when I disappear because I just don't want to show up, I start to feel it physically, like in all over my life. Like things start to manifest against me, if that makes any sense. They're not really against me, it's just I'm not walking in my path. And when I decide that I'm going to stay diligent with walking in my path, everything in my life just falls into place. My sleeping pattern automatically like fixes itself in a way, into a rhythm that keeps up with everything that I have to do. So I am not stressing. I am not struggling to get work done. I'm not struggling to stay awake. I am more in a flow with life. When I follow my path, I am in a flow with life. And that is what Spirit is asking. Is like, let's start following your path, your purpose, so that we can start flowing with life. Well, that is all that I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.